The following program is the work of broadcast students from the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the past week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Today on BCIT magazine, high daycare rates are driving some families out of town. West End residents are concerned about new development in their area. And a former NHL player wants fighting in hockey banned. Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Connor Danoon. To our top story, as Premier Christy Clark outlined her goals for this upcoming session as MLAs return to the legislature after a 9-month break. Clark focused on the upcoming election and the budget. Also in the speech from the throne, the government says it will improve access to early childhood services and affordable daycare. The Premier's announcement comes after 3,000 families signed postcards asking the BC government for more affordable daycare services. The BC Government and Service Employees Union says we are in the middle of a child care crisis. Amber Rockcliffe spoke with one local family who says child care costs are so high here, they're moving to Alberta.
If anyone knows about raising a child in Vancouver, it's Ari Wayman. The mother of 4 has worked hard to make ends meet for her kids, but she'll soon be moving her family to Alberta. She says one of the deciding factors was the cost of childcare there.
I've looked at childcare positions there and putting my children into childcare, and everything is a lot lower than it is in BC.
BCGEU representatives say childcare costs an average of $9,000 per year for a 2-year-old in Canada. In Vancouver, it's much higher at $14,000.
Even with child tax benefits here are lower than they are in Alberta. So it doesn't help the families out in BC to have to pay childcare and not get some kind of subsidy that is above what they're getting now.
The BCGEU's Oliver Rolfs has helped childcare workers collect more than 3,000 signed postcards from BC families, asking the government to commit to implementing a new system of affordable, accessible, publicly funded early care and learning.
In BC, women with kids under 15 have the lowest participation rate in the labor force in all of Canada. And quite often, it's very simply because it's not worthwhile going back to work.
Many local advocates say a $10 a day childcare plan, modeled on Quebec's $7 a day plan, would encourage more parents to go back to the workforce. They say it would be a key driver of economic growth. The BCGEU has put on a series of short commercials online calling for a government action. They highlight how local families simply can't afford to have children. The 3,000 postcards are being sent to the BC Liberal Party, and the BCGEU expects the issue to get more heated as our provincial election approaches. Amber Rockcliffe in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
The victim of Vancouver's second homicide of 2013 has been identified. Police say 59-year-old Michael Charles Gregory of Vancouver was found severely injured near Commercial Drive on Saturday. He died later in hospital. A 27-year-old man was taken into custody, but no charges have been laid. A redevelopment proposal for English Bay will be back in City Council this week. The plan would add more than 100 new rental units to the English Bay area. As Virginia McConkey found out, some nearby residents are worried about how the plan will impact their neighborhood and home prices.
When Karen Shillington moved to Vancouver, she was drawn to Beach Towers for its views and affordability. But a new plan to redevelop the building by adding 133 new apartments is causing her concern.
What I'm afraid will happen, we'll have these above market rent, brand new, nice rental units, and that's great. But these old units won't even be affordable. So we're taking 500 affordable units out of the mix.
Beach Towers is in one of the most desirable locations in the city, and that means these new apartments will be able to draw in higher rents, something that isn't sitting well with representatives from the West End Residents Association.
You know, I've got really mixed feelings. There's some great things about this particular proposal. It's going to have a diverse a variety of rental units. But the prime concern that we have in the West End Residents Association is affordability, and that these units are not necessarily priced at a rental rate that we can afford.
But it's not just apartment costs that are making residents unhappy.
It would just bring in way too many more people for the West End. We live here for the comfort of just being able to walk without being shoved down the sidewalk.
You know, we may have to fight for parking.
While developers say these new units won't drive up costs for current residents, many are also reacting to a new wave of development that has hit the area. And with a new community plan already underway, many like Shillington are hoping the city will listen to West End residents before making more changes to the area.
Well, I think the biggest issue is that the community has been shut out of the process. The more I hear about this project, the more confused I am actually about what really is going to happen.
The proposal is back in front of council on February 19th. Virginia McConkey in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up next on BCIT Magazine, a styrofoam recycling center is the first of its kind in Coquitlam. And men aren't the only ones buying gifts for Valentine's Day.
They say if you want a wish to come true, never tell anyone. But there is one wish that can make the difference between life and death. And this wish can only come true if you tell someone. Please, let your family know you want to be an organ donor.
Standby graphics, ready camera one.
If you want to experience the fast-paced world of news,
today on BCIT Magazine, striking,
make magic on a movie set,
frame,
and action, or bring your creative ideas to life, BCIT's hands-on training will get you started. BCIT Television and Video Production. Your possibilities start here.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. The Vancouver Canucks have fashioned a 6-game winning streak. Last night they beat the Minnesota Wild 2-1. The captain of the Canucks, Henrik Sedin, has a career total of 755 points, which is just 1 point behind Vancouver legend Marcus Naslund. In other hockey news, concussions, whether from fighting or crushing body chucks, are a contentious issue in hockey. Research shows they've been linked to a decline in brain health. A former NHL player in Niagara, Ontario, is the first to claim his degenerative disease is the result of years on the ice. Angela Jung has the story.
Steve Ludzik looks like a healthy 51-year-old, but his brain scan would reveal a different story.
Do I say that I got Parkinson's disease from playing hockey, from getting my bell rung? I absolutely believe so. I absolutely believe it. And people that say, well, you can't prove it, but you can't prove to me that it didn't happen that way.
Ludzik was a scrappy forward for the Chicago Blackhawks in the 1980s. His playing days are immortalized on his trading card.
Meanwhile, behind the play, Ludzik going at it. Ludzik and Allison.
Tragically, the damage to his health is even more permanent.
You'd be blacked out for 3 or 4 seconds on the ice. You get back to the bench. You never said anything. You never squawked. You never said anything. You're scared for your job.
Nowadays, he enjoys the life of a retiree. He says he's never asked his doctor how advanced his disease is because he's afraid of the answer, and his medication hides any visual symptoms. But his forward junior hockey teammate says when it came to the ice, Ludzik was anything but afraid.
You know, there's a lot of players that'll do a lot of scoring, but when it comes to getting rough in the corners and playing that style of game, they'll shy away a little bit from that. Not Ludzik.
If you want to carry the puck and you want to be a good player, there's consequences.
And if things got ugly and somebody challenged him, he wasn't afraid to drop the gloves and take them on and have those fisticuffs.
As Ludzik watches these young players, he hopes their lives will turn out differently.
I'd like to see fighting stop.
But that's a change he doesn't see happening soon. Angela Jung in Niagara-on-the-Lake for BCIT Magazine.
Well, it's estimated styrofoam accounts for 30% of garbage in our landfills. But But now, a Coquitlam company is recycling this material and helping to turn it into something that has a place in everyone's home. Jennifer Ferguson has more.
Styrofoam. We come across it every day, either in product packages or in the shipping industry. It's everywhere. Styrofoam is clogging up landfills, and once it's there, it lasts 500 years. Foam Only in Coquitlam looks to tackle this problem. It was created by Mark Obazinski and his partner Noel Massey. The idea came to Obazinski after speaking with a landfill operator who said they were overwhelmed with styrofoam. With more research, Mark realized the problem was bigger than he could have ever imagined.
We use about 800,000 cubic meters a year. So that in visual perspective is BC Place full every 3 years statistically. That's just in Vancouver.
The styrofoam is delivered to this warehouse where it's sorted. After the holidays this year, this entire building was full past the windows. In Vancouver, it is estimated we throw out over $20 million a year worth of foam. This includes meat packaging, egg cartons, and electronics packaging, just to name a few. According to Washington University, we produce enough styrofoam cups a day to line the entire earth if lined end to end. And this all would have ended up in the landfill until now. Once the foam is sorted, it is put in this large machine. This process will turn these massive blocks of styrofoam into these smaller ones. It is then shipped to China, where they make picture frames out of the material. Foam Only is the only company in the Lower Mainland that can process industrial-sized styrofoam.
There's a reason why we're orange. What our vision is to create a new orange bin so people get aware of foam goes in the orange bin. If you give people the opportunity, statistically you will get participation.
Foam Only is not able to take residential foam drop-offs, but those interested in recycling can visit their website for a list of private haulers. Jennifer Ferguson in Coquitlam for BCIT Magazine.
The Better Business Bureau is warning people about a scheme that tries to take advantage of people looking for love on Valentine's Day. The sweetheart scam is making the rounds again on dating websites as people try to scam the vulnerable out of their money. One scam involves holiday e-cards. While many are legitimate, others can be an attempt to steal personal information by directing the recipient to download a virus. Online romance scams are among this year's top 10 scams in BC. Well, fraudsters aren't the only ones busy on Valentine's Day. Cupid sure is too. And while it's usually a day associated with men giving chocolates and roses to their sweethearts, one Burnaby florist says more and more women are joining in the tradition. Now they are the ones who are making the classic gift purchases. Jen Bailey has the story.
Some of us will spend hours thinking of gifts to give our significant others for Valentine's Day.
While chocolate and roses are traditional gifts, Adele Ray Flores says some people are taking a more modern approach this Valentine's Day.
While it's usually men who do the gift giving on Valentine's, shop owner Kathy Hansen says this year it's the other way around.
It's amazing how many we send out from girls to their boyfriends. And that's becoming more popular as the years have gone by. We've been doing more where the guys are getting them.
Although that's not the case for some people.
I think it's a guy thing, mostly. Girls usually just are expecting, I think, flowers and chocolate.
I kind of find it cheesy.
I am all for giving men flowers if they appreciate them, but it wouldn't be a good use of my money.
But if they change their minds, Adele Ray's will be ready for last-minute buyers.
I hope we're going to be really busy. Typically we are really busy, and tends to be a little bit of last-minute thing that, you know, it all comes at once. But we're gearing up really good, and we've got lots of flowers, lots of beautiful roses.
Adele Ray's will be open late on Valentine's Day or until they run out of flowers. Jen Bailey in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
It's officially the Chinese Lunar New Year. February 10th marked the first day of the Year of the Snake, which is said to be prosperous and lucky. To celebrate, Vancouver will see local streets come alive with music, traditional lion dancers, and other public festivities. Well, if you have any questions or comments regarding this program, please visit us online at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitbroadcastnews.ca. I'm Connor Danoon, and that's today's BCIT Magazine. Thanks for watching. In preparation for Valentine's Day, we leave you with some gift ideas.